Rahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I'm your chemistry teacher. How are you students all? Uh, Today we are going to start chapter number 2. That is the name is chemical energetics. What is actually chemical energetics? Is a branch of a physical chemistry concern phenomena in chemistry as well as with the dependence of the thermodynamic properties of a substance. So chemical energetics is a major branch of a physical chemistry. So it relates with all phenomena to chemistry as well. It totally depend upon the thermodynamics. And thermodynamics is a branch of a physical science which deal with the relationship between heat and other forms of energy. Mechanical, that is mechanical energy, electrical or chemical energy, by the extension of the relationship between all forms of energy. So this is the definition of a chemical energetic mean branch of a physical chemistry concerned with the phenomenon chemistry and all totally depends upon the thermodynamic properties of a substance. Now today's topic we will discuss in a detail heat content of a reaction, measurement of a heat of a reaction, and third one is the heat of a neutralization. So let's start. First, we are having an introduction of a some term. Before going to the depth of the terms, we must know the basic terms. That is the first one is the heat of a reaction. Means heat term we having heat of a reaction. It can be defined as the amount of a heat absorbed or evolved during a thermochemical reaction at any pressure is called heat of a reaction. Means what is the heat of a reaction? The amount of heat, I mean quantity of heat or how much heat absorbed or evolved, either taken in or taken out during a thermochemical reaction. Uh, uh, that any pressure means there is no foundation of a pressure. Pressure may be a different type of, different units. We having a 15 atmospheric temperature pressure, so it must be a change. So it's not a fix. That type of reactions are known as heat of reactions. So what is actually heat of a reaction? The amount of heat evolved absorbed uh, during the thermochemical reaction at any pressure is called heat of a reaction. Now next term we have enthalpy. What is the term? Enthalpy or heat content. So there's a two name of a same thing, enthalpy or heat content. So every substance has a characteristic internal energy. Mean each and every substance having their internal energy. So this energy is called the heat content of a substance. Means the internal energy of a substance is called heat content of that substance. The heat content of a substance is also called the enthalpy of a substance. Means substance having its characteristic internal energy, this is called heat content of a substance. It also called as enthalpy of a substance. So every substance having its own internal energy, mean each and every element having its own internal energy. This is a characteristic internal energy. This characteristic internal energy is called as heat content of a substance. The heat content of a substance is also called the enthalpy of a substance. Okay. Next term related to this term enthalpy, we are having an enthalpy of a reaction. Now it is defined as heat evolved or absorbed during a chemical reaction, which is carried out at a constant pressure is called enthalpy of a reaction. Mean here we are talking about heat evolved or absorbed. Mean either heat is taken in or taken out during a chemical reaction or thermochemical reaction, which is carried out at a constant pressure. Mean pressure is a constant. Pressure remain same is called enthalpy of a reaction. Now compare definition of a heat of a reaction with enthalpy of a reaction. Both having the same definition, but the difference is the what is the difference? Heat of a reaction occur at any pressure, whereas enthalpy of a reaction occur at constant pressure. So this is a basic difference between enthalpy of a reaction and heat of a reaction. So both having the same definition, heat evolved or absorbed during a chemical reaction or thermochemical reaction, but it carried out at a constant pressure. It become enthalpy of a reaction. If at any pressure, it will become a heat of a reaction. So it is called heat of a reaction, and at constant pressure it is called enthalpy of a reaction. So next term we having neutralization. This term we have earlier discussed in our chapter acid base and solution in detail, but here revision of this term, and we are using this term in for more description in this chapter in the form of a heat of a neutralization. But here is the reaction between an acid and base to form salt and water is called neutralization. Mean the reaction between an acid and base. They will form what they will form? They will form salt and water. It is called what? Neutralization. Beta. So what example of acid mean HCl and base we having sodium hydroxide. Anyways, they react together. They form a salt. What salt? NaCl. So that is a sodium chloride and water. This process is called neutralization. Okay. Then we having a term calorimeter. This the new term for you. So it is defined here a calorimeter. A calorimeter is an object used for calorimetry or the process of heat of a chemical reaction. So or simply we can say it's an instrument by which we can measure the heat. So it's a calorimeter is an instrument used for measuring a heat of a chemical reaction. Okay, calorimeter. Okay, so these are the basic terms. Then we having term heat content of a reaction. First we will define heat content of a substance. So I defined as the energy possessed by a substance is called heat content of a substance. We know that each and every substance having its own characteristic internal energy. This characteristic internal energy is known as heat content of a substance. So each and every substance have its own heat content. All elements having a different heat content value. During chemical reaction, when chemical reaction occur, the reactants are converted into a product. We all know though how the reaction will occur. The reactant react together and they converted and they will form converted mean they are formed to a product, a new thing. And the heat energy is either absorbed or evolved. During the chemical reaction, two processes occur. Evolved or absorbed means endothermic or exothermic reaction occur. Either they are taking in heat, either they are releasing the heat. So absorb or evolve. This is because of a heat content of these respective substances are different. So on the basis of this, we can say each substance have its own heat content because some are absorbing the heat, some are evolving the heat, but the quantity of taken in and taken out heat is a different. That's why we call each and every substance have its own heat content value. Now here this all about the heat content of substance. Next we having enthalpy of a reaction that relate heat evolved or absorbed during a chemical reaction which is carried out at a constant pressure is called enthalpy of reaction. Means a chemical reaction occur in which either heat evolve or absorb, but condition is here. What condition is present here? At constant pressure. Mean pressure will be a constant, the reaction will be a enthalpy of a reaction. This is a thermochemical reaction, but here condition is a what? At constant pressure. So the heat content or enthalpy, simple enthalpy, not enthalpy of a reaction of a substance is represented by what? H. It is represented by capital H. And the change in heat content during a chemical reaction is then represented by delta H. What they are represented by? Delta H. What is actually delta? It's a Greek letter. Delta is a Greek letter. Delta is a somewhat like a small triangle. Delta means change in a property. Whenever change in a property, we will place the sign of a delta. Signifying the change in the property, it means the Change in heat content during a chemical reaction is difference between the heat content of a product and reactant of the system. In delta H is showing there is a difference between change in a heat content during a product and the formation of a reactant. Mean a chemical reaction occur in that chemical reaction either heat energy is taken in or out, the substance are reacting together, they form a product, that is a so difference in the energy because of a different types of a thermochemical reaction. So enthalpy of a reaction is carried out at a constant pressure. So this is a main point of that discussion, that at constant pressure heat evolved or absorbed, which is carried out chemical reaction, that is called enthalpy of a reaction. And enthalpy of a reaction, uh, heat content or enthalpy is represented by capital H, where change in heat content during a chemical reaction means what change means in initially substance are reacting together and finally they form a product. So there is a change in heat energy. So delta H is representing the change in a property or signifying that initial energy, and there is a change or difference in a initial energy and the final energy. So that we having a change in enthalpy. What is actually change in when change in occur in enthalpy? So what happened? Change in enthalpy is denoted by a delta H, and delta means it's a Greek word and it's mean change in a property. So we know that it is a very difficult to measure the enthalpy of a reaction. Mean heat absorber effort is difficult to find out the enthalpy, but we can measure. How we can measure? The change in enthalpy, which is denoted by delta H. I have already told you this change in enthalpy is represented by delta H. It is obtained by subtracting the enthalpy of a reaction. Mean how we will get the delta H? We can get the delta H by subtracting the enthalpy of a reaction of a reactant. That enthalpy of a reaction of a reactant is donated by H1. Okay, H1 from the enthalpy of a product. Mean after the reaction product is formed, that is new substance is formed as a product, so it is donated by capital H and 2. Okay, so what is the delta H? Delta H is equal to H2 minus H1. How we will get the delta H? We can get the delta H by subtracting H2 from H1. So we know that it is difficult to measure enthalpy of a reaction, but we can measure it with a change in enthalpy, and change in enthalpy is denoted by delta H. How we will obtain? We can obtain subtracting the product enthalpy from a enthalpy of a reactant during a chemical reaction. We know that during a chemical reaction substances are reacting together and they will form the product. So we can say that delta H is a change of enthalpy is equal to H2 is a heat content of a product and H1 is a heat content of a reactants. So what is actually formula for change in enthalpy? Delta H is equal to H2 minus H1. By subtracting the from H2 to H1, we can get the change in enthalpy, or we will find out our delta H. So this is important for the describing the type of a chemical reaction. Now, change in enthalpy help to identify the type of a thermochemical reaction. Change in enthalpy means that we know the value of a delta H, we can identify either our thermochemical reaction is endothermic or exothermic. Thermochemical reaction means the reaction which is carried out in which there is a change in heat energy. Either evolved or absorbed is known as a thermochemical reaction. What they are called? Thermochemical reaction. And we know that very well. Thermochemical reaction are of two types. One is endothermic reaction, second is a exothermic reaction. And what is endothermic? Endo means the inside and therm mean heat, exo mean out, therm mean heat. So mean endothermic reactions are those type of a reaction which need the heat, they need the energy to complete the reaction. Whereas what is exothermic reaction? Means they are releasing outside they are releasing outside the energy to the system, to the surrounding. So exothermic. So with the help of change in enthalpy, we can identify the type of a thermic running. So there is two type of a change in enthalpy. One is a positive enthalpy change. Positive enthalpy change gives the endothermic reaction, and negative enthalpy change we call as a exothermic reaction. So change in enthalpy of a two type: positive enthalpy change and negative enthalpy change. So because of a change in enthalpy, we can identify types of a thermochemical reaction. Thermochemical reaction are of two type: endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction. Now, um, before a description of a types of a thermochemical reaction identification, we know if heat energy is taken in, mean taken in the system, enthalpy is increasing. What? We know that there are two types of a chemical reaction: exothermic and endothermic. In one system, we know heat is absorbed, and in one heat is evolved. So here, if heat energy is taken in the system from the surrounding, so enthalpy will be increases. How enthalpy increases? Enthalpy increases when heat energy is taken from a surrounding to the system. So in the system, heat energy is taken in. So enthalpy increases. So next we having if heat energy is out from the it will out from a system to the surrounding, enthalpy decreases. Enthalpy will decreases. How it will decreases means heat energy is passing out from a system to a surrounding, means at the end of a chemical reaction the energy is a release from the system to surrounding. That enthalpy will be a decrease. So enthalpy increase, heat energy in, it's mean endothermic reaction, and enthalpy decreases when heat energy out, it's a exothermic reaction. So this will give more clear concept about how enthalpy increases or how enthalpy decreases. Now next we having positive enthalpy change. It will give the endothermic reaction, identify the endothermic reaction. What is actually? If the enthalpy of the product is greater than the enthalpy of a reactant, mean here we are talking about if the enthalpy of a product is greater than the enthalpy of a reactants, mean at the end of a reaction, suppose this is a chemical reaction, this is a reactant, these are the reactants, and this is a product. So energy or enthalpy of a product is greater than the enthalpy of a reactant. What is the reason behind this? Because this type of a reaction need the energy. Energy is given to the system, and at the product is formed, it will take the energy from. That's why the enthalpy of a product is greater than enthalpy of a reactants. Then the sign of a delta H will be a positive. So, and the overall reaction is endothermic. Heat is absorbed. Why heat is absorbed? Because we know very well in endothermic reaction they need heat energy for completion of a reaction. Without this energy, the reaction will not complete. So we will get the more clarification from the examples. For example, we having nitrogen and oxygen are reacting together. They form a nitrous oxide NO. Half half mole of a nitrogen and half mole of oxygen react together, they will form 1 mole of a nitrous oxide. But they need delta H value, mean they need heat energy in the form of a plus 90.25 kilojoules per mole. In this amount of energy or heat energy is needed to complete this reaction to form the nitrous oxide NO. So this is a first example of a positive enthalpy change or identification of a endothermy. Second, we have having an example of a water, electrolysis of a water or decomposition of a water, we can say. 1 mole of a water decompose into a 1 mole of a hydrogen plus half mole of oxygen. They require delta H is equal to plus 286 kilojoule mole energy. Mean if this amount of heat energy will provide it, so water will easily decompose into a hydrogen and oxygen gases. So one of the best example of to show the positive enthalpy change or endothermic reaction, we having a water electrolysis of water, or we can say decomposition of a water or breaking of or split of a water into a hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. We need energy that is in a form of a delta H is equal to plus 286 kilojoule per mole. Mean each mole need this energy to the formation of a hydrogen and oxygen, hydrogen 1 mole formation and half mole of a oxygen. Now next we having another example. See carbon or coal, 1 mole of a carbon plus water, 1 mole of a water, 1 mole of a carbon, 1 mole of a water. They react together, it will form carbon monoxide. What they will form? It will form carbon monoxide gas plus water. So 1 mole of a carbon react with a 1 mole of a water, it will form 1 mole of a carbon monoxide, and it's a not a water, but here it's a hydrogen gas. Sorry, here hydrogen gas, not water is present. So 1 mole of a carbon plus 1 mole of a water form 1 mole of a carbon monoxide and 1 mole of a hydrogen. So they need energy. How much amount they need? Plus 118 kilojoule per mole. Mean this amount of energy will be needed. So that's why we are able to form the carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas. So if the enthalpy of the product is greater than the enthalpy of a reactant, then its reaction will be a endothermic, and so its mean heat is absorbed and delta H value will be a positive. Now next we having negative enthalpy chain. Negative enthalpy chain give the identification of an exothermic reaction. So if enthalpy of a product is smaller than the enthalpy of a reactant, here we are talking that enthalpy of a product is smaller, less than the enthalpy of a reactant. In positive enthalpy chain, enthalpy of a product was greater than the enthalpy of a reactant, but it is the opposite or a contrast to the enthalpy of a negative enthalpy, that if enthalpy of a product is smaller than the enthalpy of a reactant, what happened? The sign of a delta H will be a negative. In positive enthalpy, the sign was a positive. And overall reaction is a exothermic reaction. And in this reaction, heat is evolved. Mean they are releasing the heat. So that with the help of that, we can identify that is a which reaction, which thermochemical reaction type, that is a exothermic reaction. It means product's enthalpy is smaller as compared to enthalpy. Why product having the smaller enthalpy as compared to the reactant? Reason is that in this type of a reaction, heat is evolved or heat is released. So, for example, we are taking this example. These are a reactant and this is a product. If the reactant react together and product form, at the end of the reaction, it will release energy. The which energy release, which is initially part of a product, but at the in reactant, sorry, and at the final product have losing this energy in the form of a heat. Okay, now it will be more clear with the help of a different example. For example, hydrogen gas is reacting with the oxygen, it will form a water. It's the opposite to a electrolysis process, a decomposition of a water, which is example of a positive enthalpy. Here 1 mole of a hydrogen reacting with a half mole of a oxygen, it will form 1 mole of a water. So what happens? Delta H value is minus 286 kilojoule mole. Here 286 kilojoule mole energy will be released when water is formed from a hydrogen and oxygen gas. Now second example we having methane, CH4. What is CH4? Methane. Burns with the oxygen. It will form carbon dioxide plus water. Carbon dioxide and water are formed. Mean methane, CH4, 1 mole of a methane a reactant with a 2 moles of oxygen, 1 mole of methane and 2 moles of oxygen reacting together. It will form 1 mole of a carbon dioxide and 2 moles of a water. So what happens? They release this reaction will release the heat. Its amount is delta H is equal to minus 890 kilojoules per mole energy. Means this amount of energy will be used per mole. So whenever burning of a methane occur, and it will form carbon dioxide and water. So third example, S is a symbol for the sulfur. O2 oxygen. Sulfur and oxygen react together. It will form sulfur dioxide. SO2. SO2, sulfur dioxide. Sulfur and oxygen reacting form a sulfur dioxide. 1 mole of a sulfur and 1 mole of oxygen are reacting together will form 1 mole of a sulfur dioxide. Okay, but they will form 1 mole of a sulfur. But release how much amount of energy? Delta H is equal to minus 296 kilojoule per mole. Mean formation of a sulfur dioxide from a sulfur and oxygen. It will release the how much amount of energy? Minus 296 kilojoule per mole. All these three examples showing the how much heat is evolved during a chemical reaction. Amount of evolution of a, I mean how they are how much or the quantity of a heat is released depend upon the time of a chemical reaction. So negative change in enthalpy identify the exothermic reaction. So by the help of a change in enthalpy, either positive or negative, we can identify the type of a thermochemical reaction, that is a endothermic and exothermic. Now next, measurement of heat of reaction. How we will measure the heat of a reaction? We are talking about again and again about the heat. What is actually heat? Is a revision. It is a form of energy which is transferred from one body to other due to the difference in the temperature. Actually, heat is a form of energy. How heat energy we get? It is transferred from one body to other because of a difference in temperature. Now, exothermic and endothermic reaction can easily be detected by touching the vessel. We have discussed earlier, if the exothermic reaction occur, the vessel or the vessel means its apparatus become a hot, and in exothermic reaction, the apparatus or vessel become cold. So, in this we are explaining that point. The exo and endothermic reaction can easily be detected by touching the vessel before and after the chemical reaction. So by touching the vessel means apparatus where we are performing the chemical reaction. So the increase in temperature indicate the reaction is exothermic. If the temperature is increasing, it's showing the exothermic because it releasing the heat, the exothermic, and decrease in the temperature. When temperature just falls down, and what they indicate? They indicate the reaction is endothermic reaction. So increase and decrease of a temperature, we can identify heat of a reaction. The accurate value of a delta H can be determined by using a calorimeter. So with the help of a calorimeter instrument to measure the heat of a reaction, or so with the help of a calorimeter we can find out a proper or accurate value of a delta H. Now this is now we are talking about the calorimeter. So this is a diagram of a calorimeter. So first we will discuss simple type of a calorimeter, an insulated container fitted with a thermometer and stirrer. Known amount of a reactant are placed in the calorimeter. When the reaction proceeds, the heat energy evolved or absorbed will either cool or warm the system. Delta H for the reaction may be calculated by the determining the differences in the temperature, mass of a reactant and specific heat of a mixture. So this is a diagram of a calorimeter. This is a calorimeter. It is an insulated container in which this is a cup-like shape calorimeter. It is having a different parts. We having a foam cups. This is a styrofoam for cups, like a disposable glass, having the material, same material like this. This is a cover of that cup. This is a hole where we put the thermometer. Here is stirrer, and in which we put the solution of a known concentration, and we know the quantity of a solution. Stirrer, what is the purpose of stirrer? Stirrer used for a mixing. We are mixing the solution, or why? What is the function? The proper function of a stirrer? It will remains the constant temperature throughout the solution. It is a function is maintain the temperature same throughout the solution. So, and we having the term specificate. Specificate is a new term for you. It can be defined as the quantity of a heat required to change the temperature of a 1 kg mass of a substance by 1 Kelvin. It's called specific heat. What is a specific heat? Quantity of heat required to change temperature of a 1 kg of a mass of substance by a 1 Kelvin is called specific heat. So delta, we having a proper formula. Delta H is equal to mass. M is a mass multiplied by S is a specific heat multiplied by delta T, change in temperature. So this is about the calorimeter. Now next we having heat of neutralization. We know that neutralization is a reaction between acid and base that forms salt and water, but here we are talking about heat of neutralization. The amount of heat released during a neutralization in neutralization process occur reaction between acid and base occur. The heat released in a reaction in which 1 mole of water is formed is called as a heat of a neutralization. Next, we having another more or proper definition. The amount of heat released when 1 mole of a hydrogen ion H plus ion form an acid react with a 1 mole of a hydroxyl ion OH negative ion form a base to form a salt, and 1 mole of a water is called heat of neutralization. So summary of a heat or definition of heat of neutralization is reaction between acid and base. How much heat is used. So heat used in a form of a heat is released. So this is a heat of a neutralization. Now next procedure, how we will find out the heat of a neutralization of NaOH by HCl. This is a neutralization reaction example between NaOH and HCl. How we will calculate. For this procedure, we will use again the calorimeter. Take 50 centimeter cube molar NaOH solution. Its molarity is a 50 centimeter cube, and can note the temperature T1. We are taking the NaOH solution. Its quantity is a 50 centimeter. It's 50 centimeter molar solution, and we are having a temperature T1. And same 50 centimeter cube molar HCl solution, and note the temperature T2 and T2 temperature for the HCl. The two temperature will be usually same for both solutions. The temperature will be same. Pour the HCl solution in a 250 ml. The quantity of HCl is a 250 ml in a beaker in our calorimeter, and then add quickly NaOH solution. The solution being stirred all the time. We are mixing all the time. Why we are mixing? To maintain the same temperature throughout the solution. And note down the highest temperature reached during the reaction. At the end, weigh the calorimeter with the salt solution. A heat of neutralization is calculated by the following formula. So look at the diagram. This is a calorimeter and this is a cup, two styrofoam cups nested together. Reaction mixture in a solution, cork stopper. Here we put the thermometer in the glass stirrer for mixing. Here thermometer find out the temperature. We will put the NaOH and HCl. The quantity is a 250 ml, and initially we will find out that T1, T2 temperature would be the same, and at the final temperature the reaction will be completed. We will find out. So by the help of a formula we can calculate how delta H is equal to M mass multiplied by S specific heat of a reaction multiplied by delta T or T2 minus T1. Or we can say delta H is equal to M multiplied by S multiplied by delta T. Delta T means T2 minus T1. So this is a procedure how we will find out the heat of neutralization of NaOH by HCl. Now we are having a term how we will calculate. Observation and calculations. mass of a calorimeter along with the stirrer means we are mass or the weight of the calorimeter that is shown by W1 is a 50 gram mass of a calorimeter along with the stirrer plus salt solution. First we have mass, only a mass of a calorimeter apparatus mass with the stirrer. Secondly, we will put the solution, so we will call as the W2 is equal to 150 gram. So we will mass of actually find out the mass of a salt solution. How we will get the mass of salt solution? By subtracting W2 from W1. W2 minus W1, we get 150 minus 50, we will get the 100 gram. Specific heat of a salt solution is S is a specific heat of a salt of solution. What is the specific heat? The quantity of heat required to change temperature of 1 kg of a mass of substance by volcano is called specific. It is shown by S, its value is 4.25 joule per gram per coulomb. Initial temperature of a reactant, I have already told you the initial temperature of NaOH and HCl, that is the T1 and T2 are same, so we are called T degree centigrade is equal to 20, so it is a delta T. Final highest temperature is T3 degree centigrade is what is this 26.8 degree centigrade. So increase in your temperature, that is T3 minus T naught T degree centigrade is a delta T, mean initial T1 and T2 are same, so that's why simply we call that T, and final temperature is T3 we will subtract from a T, so we will get the delta T, that is a 6.8 degree centigrade. Then heat of a neutralization is a given by, we were applying the formula delta H is equal to M mass multiplied by specific multiplied by that change in temperature. So mass is 100 gram, that is, and specific heat of a solution, salt solution is 4.25, that is, and 1 gram is a divided by 1 gram, and so gram is changed to we are changing the unit, that's why dividing 1 gram, and temperature difference at 1 degree centigrade we are talking about here 1 degree centigrade. So what will happens, it will be a after this calculation we will get 2856 joule, means here heat of neutralization or delta H is a 28.68. Here we are multiplying with a 6.8, so here miss 6.8, we will put the value of 6.8 instead of a 1 degree centigrade, we will put a 6.8 degree centigrade, we will get 2856 joule. So value obtained, that is at 2856 joule, is for a 50 ml of solution, milliliter solution. It must be multiplied by 20. Why we are multiplying by 20? Because we know the initial temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. So that's why we are multiplying with the 20. So the amount of heat evolved when 1 mole of NaOH is neutralized by HCl, that is a 286 joule per 20 joule multiplied by 20, we will get 57.112 kilojoule per mole. So, result, the heat of neutralization of NaOH by HCl is delta H is equal to minus 57.12 kilojoules per mole. So, by the heat of neutralization of NaOH by HCl of a given quantity, we find out a delta H. Now, next we having heat of neutralization for any strong acid with a strong base. Mean heat of a neutralization for any strong acid with a strong base is approximately same. Mean heat of a neutralization, mean amount of heat released during the process of neutralization for a strong acid and a strong base is approximately same. How? Strong base NaOH plus strong acid HCl, they form salt NaCl plus water. So its delta H value is a minus 57.3 kilojoule per mole. What is the value of delta H? Is minus 57.3 kilojoule per mole. So another example of a strong acid and base, strong acid potassium hydroxide KOH plus reacting strong acid, that is a HNO3, it will form potassium nitrate KNO3 plus water, and its value is delta H is 57.3 kilojoules per mole. Both having the same value while strong acid and strong. Next we having home task. Define the following term, define content of a reaction, heat of a neutralization, heat of reaction, utilization, enthalpy of reaction. What is the change in enthalpy, delta H, how does it keep to identify the types of thermochemical reaction, define the heat of utilization, what should the value of a heat of utilization when strong acid react a strong base. Calculate the heat of utilization of NHPXL. You can get the answers of all these questions from your book as well as from a slide. So please take a screenshot of all slide. So this is all about today's lecture. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.